Hi folks, Matt Easton here of Schola Gladiatoria and Eastern Antique Arms, and this is a really concise and short video, and I do mean that for once, to simply point out that sometimes a combination of good scabbard and lining in a scabbard and a leather washer at the top of a antique sabre hilt really does its job at maintaining a blade. So if we look at the outside of this sword, it's in a fairly good, but not like amazing, but fairly good condition for a sword that is, this dates to, I would estimate, about 1850, 1860, something like this. So it's a sword that's, 150 years old, and it's in that time it's presumably had some kind of military career, and then it's probably been stuffed in attics or sheds or people's houses, and it will have had some degree of hard life, so it does show some signs of obviously age. It has a little bit of light pitting. It has what we call patina, which is just essentially surface oxidization. Little bits of rust here and there that need cleaning off. It's lost its grip wire, but apart from that, it appears in good condition. So if I picked this up and I'd never seen it before, I'd think, oh yeah, that's a kind of above average condition example of an 1821 with a post 45 blade, cavalry officer's sword, and then I would draw it out of the scabbard expecting the blade to be of a matching kind of aging to the hilt. But not with this sword. With this sword it's a surprise, because you draw it out of the scabbard and the first thing you feel is, wow, it's quite, it almost feels like it not sticks, but the scabbard wants to keep hold of it. Not in a way like it's rusted or anything like that, but it's very snug. Now, very often with antique swords, the innards of the scabbard, which were wood lined by this time, kind of shrink with age and get dried out, and they just kind of, and so it kind of rattles around. So what you can hear rattling are the two rings to suspend from the belt. If I hold those, it's utterly solid, and that's how it should be. It cannot fall out of the scabbard. It's completely solid in there, and that's because in this case the wood lining has been preserved well and is of its full size and is still secured in there, and there is a leather washer which is at the top of the hilt that sits between the scabbard and the hilt, that has produced a really good seal. It has functioned as it should and been a really good washer. So when you pull this out, whoa! This is what antique sword blades looked like when they were new. It is a mirror, an absolute mirror. Now, I don't know how well the focus is going to work here, but if I do it like this, hopefully you can see the frost etching on that blade. So frost etching it's called because this part looks like frost and this part looks like mirror, obviously. That blade is just in insanely good condition. This is 150 years old, and it's got a few small, it's got a little bit of pitting at the base of the blade on one side, and it's got a few small dark spots. But that, my friends, is what antique sword blades looked like when they weren't antique yet, when they were new. So a 150-year-old blade that looks like it was made last week. I've got brand new Bowie knives that aren't in as good condition as this. Wow. So there we go. If you have a good, and I'll just show you the leather washer. There's the leather washer there. If you have a good leather washer that has maintained a good seal with the scabbard, and yes, I realise I touched the blade, so I'm going to make sure I wipe it down afterwards, especially in this case. But yeah, if you have a good leather seal, and in this case, very good, and it fits the top of the scabbard well, and people don't put their fingers all over blades and forget to wipe the blade off afterwards. If they look after that sword, look after that blade, and that innards of that scabbard and that leather washer stays in place, that is the condition of blade that you end up with. Amazing. Cheers, folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, follow us on Facebook. You can buy t-shirts through Spreadshirt, support us on Patreon, or follow us on Pinterest. Thank you.